Hey, school success makers, welcome to another edition of the School Success Podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Slater, and today we're going to do something new that we've actually never done before. We're gonna try it out and see. Let's just see how it goes. We kind of finished our mini series where we're going through things that you guys can do to help with enrollment, since we're obviously right in the middle of enrollment season. But then we've had some just great episodes in the past, and we've had over 100 episodes for the School Success Podcast, which is just awesome. So many great people, great interviews, and just great things that I've learned, and I know you guys have learned as well. So we're going to try something. We're going to do some episodes with just highlights of the different things we've learned from the different guests we've had on, and we're going to try and piece a few of them together for each week, so you guys can kind of get a recap of some of the biggest takeaways, the biggest moments that we've had on the podcast. So that's what we're going to do. So a little different, but I hope you guys enjoy and get some little nuggets from the episodes that you can, again, as always, take back to your school to make it better than it is right now. So please enjoy this week's highlights and episodes from past episodes on the School Success Podcast. Enjoy.
Fellowship Christian School was at first in 1986. That's when it was established. We're a covenant Christian school, which is not a very common thing. 100% of our revenue comes from tuition and charitable giving. So we also don't have the highest tuition in our area. As a matter of fact, we're one of the most, because in one of our board wants us to be kind of affordable among private schools, and in Atlanta affordable is really expensive. And so it's difficult because the public school system has an incredible, because we have really good public schools in our area. They are able to offer, in terms of tuition, more than we can. We just literally we can't offer what they can offer. What we can do, however, is offer a culture that's wildly different and really, really cool.
I think with many other classical schools, hiring is always a big topic of conversation, whether it's teaching or administrators, because of how specialized classical education is. So even when we look at transitioning public school teachers to a classical model, it's quite difficult because they really are worlds apart. So finding good teachers for us to teachers who are believers is also, it kind of keeps making that pond of already where that we're facing a teacher shortage nationally. It just kind of makes the pond that we're looking at smaller as we keep kind of going through the specific skills that we're looking for.
In terms of fundraising, we actually do very few kind of traditional fundraisers, like selling wallpaper, or when I was a kid, the Entertainer. I don't know if you ever did that, but it was just like this little book of coupons that you forgot and left in a drawer, never used. But yeah, we do very few of those. We do an annual fund every year, and we do it in 10 days. We start it and finish it, because what we found is our parents, it's when you pay a tuition, unlike public school where you don't have to pay tuition outright, it's just comes off your taxes.
Yeah.
But when you have to pay tuition, and then you're asked again, and then you're asked again, and then you're asked again, and then there's this generosity fatigue that happens. And so we try to say, hey, look, this is what we need. Here's why we need it. One and done. And there's always little things that pop up now and again, but we try to be really thoughtful about that aspect of our parent and faculty staff population, that we say, hey, we're just going to do this thing and we're going to knock it out in 10 days. And if you're a private Christian school and you do an annual fund, that is a powerful way to do it if you can get it done.
Challenge I would say that we are currently looking at and reevaluating is how to onboard students who maybe have had a public education for several years, how to make that transition easier, because it's really hard to expect them to be successful when we're putting them in a class of their peers that have already had 3 or 4 years of Latin, 3 years of Greek studies. That transition is sometimes too difficult, and it's just not sustainable. So that's kind of something we're looking is how can we attract older students while making their transition not impossible.
Hey, school success makers, just a really quick break from the episode to highlight our amazing sponsors over at America's Christian Credit Union. They are celebrating 65 years of service this year, and they provide essential school banking services and a tuition financing program for schools looking to reduce their risk and administrative burden. And you guys can find out all about them on their website, americaschristiancu.com/schools. That's americaschristiancu.com/schools. They are amazing over there. And I always like to say, if you're a school that collects tuition and you have a hard time collecting all of tuition at the end of the year, maybe it comes around May, June, you're like, man, we only got collected 95 or 98% of what tuition was owed to our school. One of the things you can do is have your parents get a tuition financing loan through the credit union, and then they pay the credit union directly, and you get your funds up front at the beginning of the year as the school. So you don't have to chase people throughout the year, and you can focus on what you do best, and that is loving and educating your students. And it doesn't cost your school anything to do it. So check them out online, americaschristiancu.com/schools. All right, back to the show.
Challenges that are unique to our school is just balancing all the things. So, we're a pretty big school with a lot of people in it, and making sure that our leaders, our faculty, our staff are able to balance not only their work life, their home, because a lot of our teachers are also parents who have kids in our school, but also just being able to say, hey, look, this is your time to be your dad or your mom. This is don't work on the weekend, that sort of thing, which you tell that a teacher and they kind of roll their eyes. But but there is that sort of, hey, let's, as an institution, how can we help you have that balance in your life of, yes, I know what I'm doing, let me do what I'm doing. And then also, hey, how can we come alongside you and help you grow? How can we, what can we provide you to make you even better at your job and be even more fulfilled at your job? I think that's a unique, it's a challenge, maybe an opportunity more than a challenge, but sometimes it's a challenge.
What has gone really good, and it's kind of taken us a little bit to get here, but really making sure that we are partnering with families who are like-minded. I think in the beginning, when you start off, you really are trying to sell your school. You're trying to convince parents like why they should pay thousands of dollars when we have really amazing school districts in our area. I would say over the years, we've had some families leave just because it is maybe not what they expected, or they have different priorities, which is totally okay. But when we talk about our families and the current families we have, most of them, I would say, are just so bought in and invested in who we are and are committed to the success of Legacy. We just recently had the Champions Group come in, and they did a pretty thorough evaluation of our lead team and did parent focus groups. And that's kind of the feedback we heard, is that our parents are committed. So I think our story, our brag, is really our families and how committed they are to us as well.
Hey, school success makers, just a really quick break to highlight one of our amazing sponsors, and that is ClassReach. Now, ClassReach supports schools of all sizes from application to graduation. Take charge of your school with ease, power, and mobility using ClassReach, the school management software administrators and teachers love using. You can get your free demo at classreach.com. That's classreach.com. They are amazing people, and they provide this amazing SIS software for you to keep track of your students' grades, communicating with families that are enrolled, and a whole bunch more. So again, check it all out on their website, classreach.com. They are awesome. All right, now back to the show.
I think the thing that we're doing better than anything else is focusing on growth. As a Christian school, we believe that we're always needing to better ourselves. If you want to get like all, Christian-y, the sanctification is the word, but like the idea that we have arrived is not something that any of us should say throughout our lives. And so we're always trying to be better as Christians. So we believe the same thing is true professionally. So we have focused this year, and really over the last couple of years, but really this year, we focused on what does that look like as an organization to actively pursue growth and provide active opportunities for our faculty and staff to pursue growth in ways that we haven't before.
I think a piece of advice from our experience would really be to just surround yourself with good people, whether it's your board and also staff and parents. I think just making sure that everyone is like minded is so important because if you don't have someone on board, that can cause a lot of division, a lot of strife. So make sure that you have people who are surrounding you who are on board, who know what your mission is, and are willing to kind of walk with you through that. And then the second thing I'd say is just to make sure that you stay on mission because I know it's really easy to mission drift and go to other things, but to be really clear about that vision that you're wanting to kind of fulfill through your school.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that recap of some of the past episodes we've had on the podcast. And as always, I'm just hoping that you guys can take at least one thing away from any of these episodes that you can take back to your school to make your school better than it is right now. There's so many great things inside of these podcast episodes that we're hoping you guys can take back and use. So if you need to, go back and scan through some of the episodes. You can read through them and see some of the different people we've interviewed, the topics that we've talked about, and maybe you can grab something from there that maybe you're currently in the middle of or you're going through, or you just wanted some extra help or guidance on. Great way to kind of scan back through and look at the podcast. But hoping you guys kind of enjoy these kind of quick recap episodes. And as always, I've mentioned it before, we have three great free resources for you guys to check out. The first one, of course, is what you're listening to right now. It is the podcast. It's free, weekly episodes coming out that we want you guys to make sure you're chiming into and listening to and soaking in. The second one, we have a great Facebook community that we want you guys to make sure you're a part of, completely free. And it's called School Success Makers. So if you're on Facebook, go join in there. I'm personally in there. Love to see you in there as well. Or you can ask questions, connect with some different school leaders that are in there from all over the world. And then the last and last one of all of that is our School Success Report, which you can sign up for on our website currently, schoolsuccessmakers.com. In the top right-hand corner, you can click the button School Success Report. It is a weekly email that will go out, just kind of going over different articles that our team has written, highlighting some teachers, giving some articles and ideas that we have come across that we want to make sure you guys are seeing as well. So make sure you're getting that every week. Some great content that the team has prepared so we can put it out there for you guys to check out. And as always, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or ideas, we want to hear from those and we want to hear from you with those. So please contact us through our website, schoolsuccessmakers.com, and let us know those so we can better serve you guys. And we love you. We appreciate you. And we'll be back here next week with another awesome episode as usual on the School Success Podcast. We'll see you then.